Alright, for this step of the repair process, this is the third pinion off of the Edison Home. And you can very clearly see the crack there. You see that also one side of the bore is chamfered and the other side isn't. So what I'm going to do now is use a triangular file, and I'm going to file the crack there on the inside bore and V-notch it to add additional places where solder can go. And I might lightly chamfer this other side of the bore to match this side, because what will happen is this will get filled with solder, and then the V-notch that I file there will be filled with solder. And that will increase the surface areas for the solder to adhere to and make a stronger joint. And then what I will do is place this on there and flux it and solder it. And what I did on the other Edison Home that I did was I used a heat gun, and I rotated this in the lathe slowly and with the heat gun and got everything nice and hot there, and then used rosin core solder and fluxed and soldered the pinion back on, and it made a pretty good repair. This arbor isn't bent or anything, but you can see it's not chucked in. There's a very short amount of arbor in here, so it looks like it's not straight, but it is. So that will be the first step, is to do a little bit of filing on this to provide additional places for the solder to adhere. And then you see I've got a mark right there. I've scratched on there a mark, so I know how far the pinion needs to go on. And then I'll prepare this, and then do a quick clean on this with some steel wool. And the part's been cleaned, as you can see. It's been degreased. There's no oils or anything on there. I used a modified formula like what I used for the clock movement cleaning, except a little bit more aggressive, because of the amount of grease and things that's on phonograph motor parts versus a clock movement, and added a little bit more Murphy's oil soap, and it really brightened the brass up nicely on all the brass parts too. So that's what I'm going to do now, is file on that crack there to increase the areas where the solder can adhere, and I will return as progress is made.